Hello, hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here, and it is time once again for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between WhiteRa and Tefel. This is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg game, WhiteRa versus Tefel, here on the map Cloud Kingdom. And starting up here in the upper right-hand spawn position is our blue Zerg player, Blast Tefel. Recently, Tefel took third place at the LDLC Winter Trophy 2v2. That was in January of 2012. Also took third place at the Gamers Assembly 2012 Median All-Star Trophy. His opponent down over here in the lower left-hand spawn position is our red Protoss player, WhiteRa. Of course, all of you pretty much are going to know who WhiteRa is, but let me give you some of his recent tourney information as well. Back in 2011, November of 2011, he was took fourth place at the ASOS ROG Stars Invitational. Also took second place at the MLG European Invitational 2011, and again, both of those events were in November of 2011. Not seeing any major tournament placements so far yet in 2012, but we're only halfway through the year, so WhiteRa, I believe he will still come through. I'm a huge fan of WhiteRa, always have been. Grandpa Toss, what a great player. I think the thing I like most about WhiteRa is him and TLO. They always seem to try these things that are a little bit zany. Now that's just my opinion. Of course, you guys can think what you want about these players, but I've always enjoyed watching their games because every so often you'll see something a little bit not standard from them, and it makes for enjoyable gameplay. Perfect example, I think the last WhiteRa game I casted, he went for carriers, and if you've been following StarCraft 2 at all, you will know that carriers are not gone for very often in professional play. He did end up losing the game as a result of his attempt in going for carriers, but still, it's still good to see people trying new things. I'm a huge fan of that indeed. Alright, so WhiteRa looks to be going for a Forge Fast expand, which is nothing fancy or new at all. Pretty standard here in this matchup. There's the Forge. We're following that up with a Nexus. You can see he's just about 400 minerals right now. Also sitting at the natural expansion of Tefel, and of course the attempt here is for him to delay that first hatchery placement there that Tefel will be coming out with shortly. Tefel has actually decided to go Extractor first, though, which will, of course, give him that Vespene early on, which will allow him to get that metabolic boost, or maybe he'll go for Roaches. Those are certainly two possibilities. And actually, WhiteRa a little bit concerned here that Tefel may have taken that first expansion right up here in the third position, but that has not happened. And in fact, we've got Zerglings moving down and the drone, and now Tefel's all set to place that down. WhiteRa's just way too out of position. Zerglings now chasing down the probe. Probe should be able to make it home. Probably going to take a couple shots en route, but he should be all set there. I don't think those Zerglings are going to have the necessary means to actually kill him. So yeah, he's going to make it nice and safe back here, just after taking a little bit of damage. But you know, what's a little bit of damage for ire, huh? Nexus is coming through here, just about finished. Also, that first cannon is in place, so WhiteRa is protected here against these first four Zerglings. Really no sense for Tefel to try to move in with that. It would end up losing too much. Probably might sneak one Zergling through just to scout out the main, but is it really worth it? Looks like Tefel decides no. We do have a secondary probe scout now moving forward here for WhiteRa. He's going to move straight on in, just scout the timing there of that hatch. Also now checking the third. Now again, quite popular for Zerg players to take a quick third in response to a Forge Fast expand. Which of course Tefel does know that WhiteRa has gone for. And now he's going to check the main, wants to see, is there a Roach Warren, is there a Baneling Nest, what is going on? Don't think he's going to get enough scouting though, no, wasn't able to go beyond this point. So there could very well, as far as WhiteRa is concerned, be a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest right back here in this green box. So he's still really not sure at this point what he's up against. All he knows is that Tefel is only on 2 bases at the moment. And that's pretty much it. And again, moving out with another scout, wants to really dedicated to trying to check out what's going on here at this third position. A lot of times you'll see that first Zealot move out, although WhiteRa does appear to have him rallied right here at the wall just to sit idly. And again, he's going to attempt to continue to push forward. He's going to actually pull back right now to his main base. I think he realizes. And it's, oh no, we're going to end up losing this. It's going to be close. The Zealot coming out to help here. He's sitting at the tower. Oh, he has no help at all. My gosh, what a lazy Zealot. Couldn't even help a probe. How unfortunate. Corona boosting out that Warp Gate research. Also coming out with a Sentry at the moment. It's going to help him force field that front wall just in case we saw any major pushes. Now you can see Spielings are already in play here as a result of Tefel going for that Extractor before taking that third. The third now just getting placed down here for Tefel. Also coming out with that Lair. And besides that, we'll probably just be droning up right now. I think that's going to be the assumption because he does have this third. If he was still just on 2 bases, I would say, maybe we're going to see some mass speedlings. Or say he had gone for a macro hash, and I would have expected just a crap ton of speedlings to come out. But since he does have this third, we're going to expect him to drone up here. A few speedlings coming out, though, just to get some map control and all of that. And again, WhiteRa with another sacrificial scouting unit here. He's already lost 100 resources after losing 2 workers, and he's going to lose another one right now. Checking that third, there it is. So now he knows. All right, third is up. Now I'm aware of what my opponent is doing. Always so important. Scouting, of course, so important. And WhiteRa in the early game, before that robo finished, had to rely on probes. Sometimes you'll see Zealot Scouts as well. However, because of these early speedlings, Zealot Scouts really wouldn't have been viable. It's when you see a quick third with that speedling delayed that you'll see those Zealot Scouts push out to check the third or maybe harass that natural a little bit. But again, unable to do so with the speedlings out so early on here for Tefel. We have a Twilight Council coming out over here for WhiteRa. Let's take a look at where that is. Twilight Council right there. A couple more gateways also coming through. Robotics Bay, which will allow him, of course, to go up into Colossus. Hydra's coming out for Tefel. Wow. That could be a problem just because we are going to be seeing Colossus very shortly here from WhiteRa. And if you don't know, Colossus absolutely tear apart. Just absolutely tear apart Hydras. So Hydras are considered a light unit, and Colossus are very strong against that. So that's a little bit of concern. The other thing too is that the relative short range on the Hydras, even with their range upgrade, when you have a ranged upgrade Colossus, you've just got so much distance on them. Plus the frontal wall that you'll see from the Protoss players' units of Zealots and Stalkers and Sentries in front of the Colossus makes it really hard for those Hydras to get up close. We'll see, though. I'm really looking forward to Heart of the Swarm, where Hydras are going to get that speed upgrade. Oh boy, that's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now, has he scouted out the Hydra Den? I don't even know where it is. What's wrong with me? Where's that Hydra Den? Ah, there it is. Yeah, he has not scouted out the Hydra Den. It took me a while to even find it, even though I probably already saw it earlier. Just me being silly. It's early. I'm casting first thing in the morning. Give me a break, huh? Colossus coming out. Thermolance also getting research right now. Level 2 weapon upgrade, as level 1 is now currently finished. Does have a small mix of units here. Zealots, Sentries, and Stalkers. And we're going to see a push coming out right now. Hydras and Speedlings moving across the map now for Tefel. See how slow Hydras are, especially off that creep. They just creep along. Yuck! Zergling's moving forward towards the pylon. WhiteRa preparing to take his third. He's going to be able to defend there with the Colossus. And as soon as Tefel sees Colossus, he says, okay, screw that. I am not fighting against those right now. Not off creep with Hydras and Speedlings, no thank you. Especially since we do have a couple of Sentries in here. I guess not as much as I thought, but only 2 Sentries. However, they are full energy, so with a few force fields, those Speedlings and Hydras would really do nothing to get close enough to that Colossus to take it out, so... WhiteRa in an okay position right now. Tefel trying to take a 4th base, also taking out very, very early onto a hive, and he does have Corruptors coming out. This is going to be very crucial for him. What is going to happen is we'll see those Corruptors target fire down those Colossus, and the Hydras and Speedlings will tear through this small amount of gateway units. So having that many Corruptors early on, I think I saw 8 in production, 22 Speedlings, a couple more Hydras coming out as well. Here comes the push from WhiteRa. I don't know that he knows Corruptors. There's a lot of Corruptors in play. Those Colossus are in trouble. Here comes the push right now. Force fields trying to prevent this. The problem is, even though we've got anti-air here for WhiteRa, he does not have enough to kill these Corruptors in time. Corruptors, very, very durable indeed. And without hesitation, he's going to take out the rest of that Colossus army. And now the Hydras push forward, and they just shred apart these gateway units. Now, WhiteRa with a little bit of micro can try to keep a distance from those Hydras, but you can see that's nothing doing right now. He's pulling back. We got 4 more Corruptors coming through. WhiteRa going back home now. Another Colossus coming out. He does have 1 in play already. A second one coming through. I'm a little concerned for WhiteRa though now, because we got 32 Speedlings coming out. 6 more Corruptors. I mean, he's already got enough Corruptors in play to quickly take out that, especially you drop the corruption on it, they take that extra damage, 20% extra damage for 30 seconds, and yeah, it's this is a little scary here. Tefel's got quite a large army, and WhiteRa's sitting pretty small right now. You look at comparison in army size, 53 to 80 at the moment. Blink research coming out, level 3 weapon upgrade coming out, which will also, of course, help WhiteRa in this situation. Now we got level 1 range upgrade here for the Hydras. No upgrades for the Zerglings at the moment, although level 1 melee is coming through. Also, a Greater Spire coming out, and that is very near finish right now. And once that finishes, of course, what we're going to be seeing are some Broodlords here. Tefel sitting with quite a few Corruptors. Could quite easily, I mean, he's got the resources pooled up right now, so he is ready. He is ready for those Broodlords. And here they come. Greater Spire now finished. Broodlords should start morphing any moment now. Any moment now. Looks like he's waiting. He's just going to keep them for the Colossus. Now, the thing to keep in mind, too, is that Broodlords are also good against Colossus as well, so it's kind of a multifunctional there in that sense. Not going to do any Broodlords right now, though. He's just pushing straight forward. Corruptors going straight for those Colossus. Hydra's doing what they can for damage now. More Speedlings coming forward. That's quite a hefty Hydra line. More Speedlings sitting over here, too. Corruptors finally take out the last of the Colossus, and the Hydras are going to start working their way through. There are still a few Stalkers, though. WhiteRa's in with a lot of Stalkers, and he's able to do it. Works through the Hydra army, and now WhiteRa has a distinct advantage. He's still behind in terms of army supply. Oh, never mind. They're the Broodlords. All right, so as long as WhiteRa can blink under those and try to take those out, that's a lot of Broodlords, though, with a little bit of Speedling support. Blinking right under, though, before they finish. Going to start picking them off one by one. Broodlords doing what they can. Speedlings trying to buy some time as well, distracting some of that fire from these Stalkers. Broodlords loses so many of them before they even finish, and that is terrible for Tefel. He gets caught with the Broodlords out of position. Blink Stalkers take them out, and Tefel just leaves the game. Great game here between Tefel and WhiteRa. You know, I really think this engagement could have gone a little bit differently for Tefel had he turned at least some of those Corruptors into Broodlords to assist with damage on that Stalker-heavy ground force. However, he decided to keep a majority of them as Corruptors, and while he did take out the Colossus fairly quickly, he then did not have enough of a ground force to deal with the remainder of WhiteRa's units, and ended up losing the game to WhiteRa's counterattack, taking out his morphing in Broodlord. So that's quite unfortunate there for Tefel. Either way, it was a pretty fun short game here between these two players. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. As always, you know, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out tremendously. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.